Okay, who in the room doesn't like ice cream? Anybody in the room doesn't like ice cream? I sometimes ice cream doesn't like us, but I love ice cream. And so our next guest is a manufacturer for ice cream, and we bring her on because she has created a well, like we needed a new reason to eat ice cream. But we don't need a new reason, but she gave us a plausible direction for eating ice cream, and we're delighted to have her with us, Miss Snehee Manish. Please give her a round of applause and receive her as she shares with us items and information about her incredible new product. Gallivant is called. Okay, welcome, Snehee, please.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and the team. Seriously, very grateful to be here. An amazing panel, learning a lot today. Not that I think we are all in here with the same notion to learn from each other and see what truly are the struggles from the veterans, as well as what are the upcoming technologies come and what can be done together and collaborate and share ideas. So this platform is very well valued. Brightside team. Um, just a quick background to myself. I am a food safety scientist by training. I started my career working in the corporate, rather the big guys, Tyson Foods, Kraft Heinz, in the manufacturing side of things, and then learned a lot about lean manufacturing to bring in more efficiencies into the lines. And again, this is a very soft or a sweet spot kind of a topic for me. But to be honest, efficiencies are relative. I understand that, but there is a better way to handle things. And what I have learned at the factories at that point is very has been very critical and very crucial in my career going forward. From there, I had moved on to working with Nestle R&D, and there I used to work with a lot of different categories of food products. And one of the reasons why I was actually hired over there, which kind of put me a little bit apart from the other candidates, was the fact that I had lean manufacturing in Six Sigma background based because of my time in the plants. And why that was very critical is very relevant to why we are talking today. It's one of the key focuses in the food industry has always been, um, how do we reduce the wastage on our production lines? How do we utilize our raw materials better? How do we optimize operations such that, of course, we are putting in first in, first outs within raw materials and finished goods, but how are we keeping track of not losing our manufactured goods as well as not using expired goods? So bringing in efficiencies in every aspect of operations. And of course, the production side, where, when we are building in new technologies from scratch, generally the rule of thumb with the food industry had always been that, we have to, of course, be able to replicate what we built in the pilot plants onto the production floor, but also keeping the food safety aspect in mind, because that is a requirement by the law in this country. So that was a given that we had to do that. But how do we bring in higher efficiencies, lower wastage, and thereby sustainability into our systems, into those technologies that we are either inventing or improvising from scratch? Improvising. So those were the few things that I had worked on when I was with Nestle R&D. Then I moved on to working with bunch of startups. Before, around 5 6 years ago, I started working for myself. I'm an SQF, or a food safety auditor, and I go and help plants get audited to higher standards there. And I also audit them. I play roles in both sides, so that they can, number one, have higher standards of food safety and quality, and thereby sell cleaner food in a sustainable way to the audiences in the retail sector or the food service sector, whichever they're catering to. And I also run my own food manufacturing, and that is how Elizabeth and her team know me. We are manufacturers of Gallivant Mawa ice creams, which are Indian style of frozen desserts, which basically are available to every one of you in global flavors, very unique, global, and authentic flavors, very honest. Why are these very special to me? Of course, I'm the founder and owner, so yes, they are special to me, but the technology with which we actually manufacture the secret ingredient that goes into making these ice creams, that is the mava, is which are the Indian milk solids. We have actually invented the technology where we have reduced the wastage to almost 1% compared to generally in food manufacturing, which is closer to 30% of 20 to 30% of food wastage during production. And the second thing is the yields are super high. Our yields are closer to 95 to 97%, with the remaining loss being, moisture and air and sorry, the water evaporation. And lastly, our uh, our our packaging and the way we are packaging it and storing the product, and because it's 100% automation process compared to compared to the traditional process where it is extremely labor intensive, very slow, takes a significant amount of time, and I can get into those details in a few seconds or a few minutes. But we have been able to reduce the production time by almost 75 to 80%, which is a huge uh, uh, honestly feather in our cap. So just by using this technology, we have been able to scale to what people make in approximately like 1,000 to 2,000 kgs, and in pounds that's closer to 5,000 pounds a day. We can manufacture that in less than an hour and a half by using our technology. And our technology is not equipment dependent, it is process dependent, so which makes it very easy to scale and not very expensive, and not very specific to using only a certain type of equipment. So these are just a few benefits. And so why is this very relevant to us? One of the biggest pedestal to what my company and I and my team, what we do is we help or we develop and work on technologies only if we know that there is truly a reduction in some form of either waste or an increase in yield, or a decrease in carbon footprint. Like there has to be some sort of a benefit to which will eventually lead to a greener product. uh, so that is our main focus with our company. And how have we applied the same principles to the ice creams is using the same ingredient and then developing the process to make these ice creams extremely with the same concept of having a lower carbon footprint. Thereby we are actually we don't mass manufacture, we are still a batch operation. However, the way we are manufacturing our base mixes for the ice cream and the way we are churning them out, and the way we are packaging them, the way we are storing them, and how fast are we moving our product, our inventory, all of those we actually put a metric in place so that we know that how efficient are we, number one, and how efficient are we in comparison to the industry standard or what is going on. So we work hard in ensuring that such metrics are met. Now, so that is basically our USP. And of course, the fun part of having ice creams is you can come up with as many flavors as you want, any unique flavors, and cater to a wider range of audience based on those same marketing plays or flavor requirements or SKUs or however you want to look at it. Uh, on this day, that on Earth Day, why I find why what I want to be very vocal about is having a skin in the game and having some responsibility when we as manufacturers try to bring in new products into the industry, but not just bring in new products because they taste great or they are nutritionally very good for you, but also keeping in mind that our production processes have consequences on the environment, have consequences on how they are going to get consumed, and have consequences to, and eventually to the future generations. So let's I want to take this platform and learn from all of you here today. How can I further build in those metrics with my clients as well as myself, and what truly matters, what metric truly matters, and how can we build that in slowly into the food industry, so that everyone takes pride in actually being a low carbon footprint and an energy efficient manufacturer. But also it becomes like a second habit. It should, like food safety is a second habit to all of us when we are in manufacturing. It's a no brainer, we have to do it. So I want to see those key elements and those key metrics of uh, bringing in eco-friendly processes, bringing having those metrics of how am I truly contributing towards making sure that there is actually a true low carbon footprint being left behind my manufacturing process. I want to bring in those into developing any future technologies and working with my clients and building it into their systems too. So that's my selfish motive of being on this platform here today. Elizabeth, we can't hear you.
Yeah, unmute.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Snehee, for that. I really, really appreciate your insight and perspective. And you bring up a new sector and dimension for what we do, which is manufacturing and manufacturing green or smart manufacturing. So it has less of an impact on our environment and more health friendly. And so, which is a paradigm of everything that you're doing, and I commend you for that. And it also supports the need as responsible citizens of the world and the earth that we now think of labor. Because I mean, we do, I mean, because of the tumultuous changes that have occurred through environment and civil unrest and food stocks and those kind of things, we do have a responsibility that we can hire and work, have people work in very capable environments. And so, with that being said, are there any questions for Snehee and her challenge and passion for creating a really great work environment with manufacturing? Any questions? Put them in chat or raise your hand so that we can hear you, or just unmute and speak. Come
Yeah,
on.
I would like to congratulate her on. I didn't obviously. There was 10 minutes, and you try and keep it as tight as you can. But having although I was a professor and had gone to graduate school and got my graduate degrees, I went into the corporate world before retiring. And I have to say, one of the things I wanted to speak about was about waste and production and efficiency, which there was something on my slide to that effect about efficiency. But I just wanted to applaud you. And very interesting that you said it wasn't through equipment, but the process. So again, another step in technology that is more efficient. And whenever anything is more efficient, there's less waste. When there's less waste, there's less harm on the climate.
Yes, yes, thank you.
And Snehee, Colonel Donna wanted to know about where you manufacture and where the ice cream is available. And Snehee comes back at noon to talk about flavors. So she's actually one of our sponsors today. And so we'll be hearing a lot from her. And we will definitely make the link available so you can order the ice cream. So tell us about where you manufacture.
We manufacture our products in Houston, Texas. We are actually selling them in a few retail stores here in Houston, as well as in Washington, in Seattle, Belmont area near Microsoft. We are in the process of getting into more retailers. So hopefully it'll be in a grocery store very near you. So um, yeah, guys, I thank you for your encouragement. Honestly, if there are any ideas in your career that you have implemented in developing those kind of processes, especially for production, and believe me when I say this, if I take videos of the amount of waste we see in food production, we will gag. We should be ashamed of ourselves. It is a very conscious effort from a lot of folks like myself who really work hard on making sure that the wastage comes down. And it's not easy, yet we work hard on it with a very strong motivation. And folks like yourself, if you can give us more ideas, we are always with here for open ears and always listening how we can learn from industry experts. So yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Great.
I have a,
Can
I have
you
a comment.
can hold on, Elton? Can you turn off your screen, Ken Peters?
Turn off the screen? Why turn off the
Yeah.
screen? Okay. My
Just
question was,
stop sharing. Yeah.
okay. My question was, in terms of Snehee, oftentimes when we improve manufacturing and innovation, of course, that drives the price up, but we have to find ways and in really unique, innovative ways that we can improve our efficiency with profits. I mean, of course, innovation requires spending new money, but how do we increase the profits that way? I mean, and because it doesn't matter. It's important to innovate, but of course, oftentimes the innovation doesn't lead to new profits. So share with us the drive that it took for you to make sure that you maintained your profitability that way.
I will be a liar if I say that I did this by myself. Honestly, some of my best, I guess, ideas and such kind of the mindset and the thought process has actually come from my vendors and my collaborators. Like I think wherever I am today, I don't know at what level I am, but it is all due to all the collaborations that I have done in my own ways. With different folks, whether it is scientists, whether it is the dairy guys who work on field, who are seeing what is truly happening on the field, or whether it is folks who are working in manufacturing, or it is the equipment vendors who actually are the manufacturers of the equipment, and ready to listen to feedback saying, hey, this is what I am truly seeing. Is there a way to modify this aspect? So, and then actually, honestly, guys, I think my best ideas have come from actually collaborating with engineers and folks from other industries, not actually from within my industry. For example, if I am having an issue of a thermal conductivity issue or something, now automobiles and airline industry folks have tons and tons of data and engineers who literally spend all their time doing exactly that, managing the heat generated in their engines and stuff. So why am I wrecking my brain? Let me talk to the experts in those industries and see what they have done and utilize technologies from there to see if I can translate it in an efficient way to the equipment I currently have. So actually, thinking along a little bit along those lines, sometimes I feel innovation is right there, and you just have to just think a little bit differently than what you're used to. Sometimes the way my husband puts it, and it's not appropriate completely, but in many ways it's like, structure has, or education has spoiled me. I was much better off when I was not that educated. So uh, I mean, please take this with a grain of salt. It is a joke, but literally, like, just not following the norm is what in some ways, I would say.
Very good. Thank you, Snehee. I appreciate it. Any other questions for Snehee? And we, of course, will have her come back because she's a part. She'll have a description of the ice cream, and you'll talk. And our plan initially was to have you sample the ice cream while we talked, but we're working on the technology for that.
if you can do that over, if you can do that over Zoom, if you
Wouldn't
can,
that be right now? We're looking at it. I'm serious. But that we'll have food stuffs and products delivered to you, and you'll sample and taste, and we'll look at them at the same time. So
just
that's
don't,
down the road.
just don't use Amazon. They're getting too big. I wanted to just applaud Snehee. Just as an economist, there's nothing that makes me smile more, especially when you think about society and the world, the globe at large, what efficiency means too.
Right.
That you're so focused on it, and you don't have to invent the wheel. Sometimes there are people out there with technologies that have applications to what you're doing.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Ken. I appreciate the gesture.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
So American-made ice cream. Thank you, Snehee, for bringing manufacturing to America. That's what we like to hear. So thank you for that. All right. So the next speaker is Manish Chowdhury. Manish, are you around to show us? Is Manish here?